Welcome back to the Capital Market, coming to you from Channels Television. Joseph Owolabi is Senior Manager, Sustainability and Integrated Reporting at Ernst & Young, and joins me on the program to talk about the Green Bond Initiative of the federal government. That drive has now been taken over by activities that are not being shown from the Ministry of the Environment. Good evening, Joseph.
Good evening.
Thank you for your time. I remember we had a discussion about the Green Bond a few months ago, and now it seems that the government is taking advantage of its benefits. Can you talk to us about the significance of this bond?
Yeah, the Green Bond issue, it's something we've been talking about for a long time now. It's a serious initiative we need to consider in Africa. Because of developmental initiatives that we need to get going, power inadequacy, we also have issues around pollution, gas flaring that are causing health hazards across the Niger Delta and other parts of Nigeria.
Okay, in May earlier on this year, a proposal was actually sent by the Ministry of the Environment to the Nigerian Stock Exchange on the Green Bond. How do you think the NSE will mobilize funds and convince investors to buy into this bond, given the lackluster performance of the equities market in recent months?
Yes, it's going to be a challenge. If you follow the history of green bond issuance across the globe, you'll notice that the first bond was issued in 2007. The first corporate bond was issued in 2013. And you notice that within 1 hour of climate bond issuance shows that pedigree of excellence and acceptance. So notwithstanding the recession that we have in the country currently, I do expect that by the time the NSE, SEC and other stakeholders come up with the green bond, either for the Nigerian government or other parastatals or private sector, it will show success in terms of subscription.
Nigeria's debt profile is rising both locally and at the international market. With this initiative on green bond, how would this impact on the country's ability to repay the yield on them easily, given the low revenue of the country and unpredictable economic performance?
The fact that you have green bond doesn't exclude you from doing the regular prerequisites of a debt instrument. So a green bond is similar to any other debt instrument. You still need to go through the whole prospect of getting your prospectus out, confirming and validating the proposal that you'll be able to meet interest repayments as well as the principal when it's due. So this issue will still need to be attended to. Investors will want to know and be sure that their principal is secured. Albeit, the green bonds and climate fund opened a different channel, a specific class of assets that was not there in the first case. So investors all over the globe are paying attention to economic, environmental, social, and governance issues. So this class of investors that understand also that it takes a considerable amount of time to get returns from projects around solar, wind, panels, and all of that. They understand the specific, the peculiarities of this kind of assets, and they also would be able to show that in terms of the tenure. So you'd expect that this kind of bonds would take a longer time for them to mature.
Now, we are told that access to private capital will lower the cost of capital for green projects. How much of these can Nigeria raise from the $100 billion market?
Yeah, as much as we can provide a case for, if the business case is strong, I believe that most certainly we'll be able to attract this kind of investment. If you remember at our last discussion on this show, I did mention that apart from just 2 other sub-regions across the world, Africa is the only region still recording a positive growth overall. So there's still that affinity. There's that affinity for Africa-based investments or assets to attract funding from across the globe. So if we are able to put forth this business case, you will see that Mark Zuckerberg visited a while ago some days or weeks ago now, Bill Gates have devoted about $5 billion to Africa over the next 5 years. So there are huge funds sitting at different buckets that Africa can nurse to help fuel and jumpstart our infrastructure deficit and adequacy.
Quite a whole lot of money available. But of course, the Green Bond is set to promote low carbon emission. How do you think these funds will be utilized?
So you also need to understand the governance procedures around green bonds. So to prevent what we call greenwashing, there's a whole detailed level of quality assurance and risk assessment that goes into issuing this bond. So we have what we call a pre-issuance and post-issuance assessment. So you need to get auditors, firms like ourselves, EY, and some of the other big four are licensed assessors. So we come in, we look at the policies, we look at the procedures the company has in place, we look at the projects they also want to dedicate or devote these funds to. When they now issue those bonds and the funds come in, they also need to do this post-issuance on a regular basis to ascertain that the funds are being used for those projects and the outstanding or remaining funds are not used for other projects that were not initially identified. So there's a whole lot of governance, due diligence, and transparency that is involved with issuing this kind of bonds. The next thing you want to have that increases the cost. Yes, it brings on some additional transaction cost into the picture.
Okay, how much of this do you think would help make the markets vibrant locally?
Oh, definitely. If there's anything we need now, we need an influx of foreign direct investment. Investors' confidence in the market is at all-time low. The demand for foreign exchange for other users in the country is has also climaxed in recent times, or even on a trajectory. So there's that deep need. So injecting and a good access to long-term funds. So you also need to understand that these are not short-term funds; they are bonds. So this presents us with a unique opportunity whereby going to a market like a listed an exchange somewhere in New York or London might not give us, we might not be, in terms of our risk profiling, might not be in the best position right now to get access to some funds. But if we can justify that by showing that we have projects like a number of in the power sector now, the Honorable Minister of Power and Works is doing a lot to harness investments in the area of solar, all across the north, and other forms of alternative energy. If you can put all of this business case together, some of the oil companies in Niger Delta are also coming up with initiatives rather than flaring gas. They're sending these through pipelines to gas turbines to generate power. So these are projects that can qualify for some of this funds. So if you can put our business case together, definitely you'll be sure that we'll be able to harness whatever kind of funds we need. If you look at the trajectory, 2013, globally we just had about 11 billion. 2014, that tripled to over 33 billion. By 2015, we looked at about 100 billion. So this year, we're looking at close to 117 billion will be issued in terms of green bonds. So the funds are there. It's just for private sector, public sector, whatever the vehicle, to come up with that case to be able to harness these funds. How
much awareness do you think the local investors have towards the green bonds?
Okay, from a stakeholder perspective, we've been pushing this out at our various seminars. I've spoken on your show once or twice to talk about this innovative alternative source of funding. Like you also mentioned, the Honorable Minister of Environment did have a focus group in Abuja recently, where the NSC, the SEC, Ministry of Finance also gathered together to talk about this. I'm aware that would also be replicated in Lagos, where the capital market operators would also assemble to look at the intricacies and how we can go about the logistics and other issues that will be involved. So I think it's gathering, gradually gathering momentum. We can't compare us with Europe or North America, where they are at an advanced stage. But currently, with the issues in Africa, terrorism, all of that, this is the way. There's no going back on this initiative.
Thank you so much, Joseph.
Pleasure.
Owolabi, Senior Manager, Sustainability Reporting and Integrated Reporting at Ernst & Young, talking about the green bond issuance in Nigeria.